Welcome to my YouTube channel Charcha Chaitanya. Today we'll be here to have a skill-oriented approach to understand how we can bring empowerment to the rural folk. When I mean to say rural folk, specifically I have the rural communities, the tribal communities, the Dalit communities, the OBC communities, and the minorities also, those who are interested to enhance their skill. I think today's broadcast will be helpful to them to understand that how sericulture can be one of the most vibrant way to bring empowerment and economic freedom and independence to the marginalized communities. So friends, I will be requesting all of you to have this entire episode seen and by which you will be benefited. So I'll be welcoming my guest today, who is a professor of zoology but specialized in the area of sericulture, Professor Venkatesh Kumar. I welcome my friend Professor Venkatesh Kumar ji to this broadcast. Professor Venkatesh Kumar ji, namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar.
Welcome to this discussion, and thank you very much for accepting my invitations.
I also thank Professor Malik ji for having me here and introducing my domain area to his viewers.
As you are a specialized person who works in the area of sericulture, having 25 years experience in these areas, how do you conceptualize the entire concept of livelihood and sericulture?
Basically, when we are talking about sericulture, sericulture is an agro-based industry and labor-intensive industry. It has vast potentiality to employ a number of people, those who are marginalized sections, women, as well as rural based. In that case, sericulture has definitely, it has a huge potentiality to empower the people, those who are living in the rural area particularly.
Now, what do you mean by sericulture to a common man? How we can make them convinced what sericulture is all about, and how this sericulture can be developed as an agro-based industry for them?
See, precisely, sericulture is an agro-based industry. It involves rearing of silkworm in order to produce the silk. And this area has very vast potentiality to empower the marginalized section by providing sustainable employment, by inculcating the skills, and also it has a vast potentiality to make the people economically independent. In that way, particularly people, those who live in a rural as well as tribal area, and to whom the other economic activities are limited, definitely this area will give more and more opportunities for their upliftment.
Professor Venkatesh ji, tell me, if somebody is interested to have this agro-based industry, what he or she has to do?
So basically, there are many agencies which are helping people, those who really wants to start the sericulture. Both state as well as central governments units are there within the country. The Central Silk Board, which is considered as a apex body of sericulture, is the main agency which is helping the farmers or those who are interested to take up this area as as their profession. There are many schemes through that people are, the government is helping, state government is helping, central government is also giving more emphasis on the development of the people.
Now tell me where to approach. That I am not yet convinced that if suppose I am interested, there are agencies as you said, but where and whom to approach to develop this particular project?
Particularly, people first and foremost, they should approach the state government, because that is the one which is very close to them. The state government department of sericulture is which is established across the country, every state government, they have a DOS, Department of Sericulture. Through that, the information is floating. The farmers or people, those who are really interested to take up this profession or to start the sericulture, first and foremost thing is they should approach Sericulture Department of state government. In addition to that, central government is also another agency which is which is also encouraging financially, which is giving technical support, which is also helping the farmers to take up this profession. And the NGOs, the self-help groups are also working across the country for the development of the sericulture.
What are the government schemes pertaining to this sericulture activities? I think you should make it much more clear, then it will be very useful to our viewers.
Yeah, there are many schemes which are really working for the upliftment of the sericulture. Sericulturists are seri farmers, we call it as a seri farmers. So for example, if you take Silk Samagra, which is the great initiative of Government of India, and the main objective of this Silk Samagra is to enhance the quality, to enhance the productivity, and at the same time empowering the people, those who are engaged in sericulture activities. In addition to this, even Manrega, which is also related to sericulture schemes and which is mainly focusing on technical support, infrastructural support, and they are also giving training to the farmers, those who want to take up this sericulture as a profession. And if you go towards northeastern state, there is another scheme for the development of northeastern state people, those who are engaged in sericulture activities. The name of the scheme is Northeast Region Textile Promotion Scheme, which is helping them at large for the development of sericulture in those areas. In addition to this, both state government as well as central governments are also playing a very important role to disseminate the knowledge to the farmers, disseminate the information to the farmers. They are also giving training to the farmers, technical support, information support, and they are also giving a subsidy for construction of rearing house, purchasing of the rearing articles, etc., etc. So in that case, both central government, state government, the self-help group, NGOs, all are playing very important role for the upliftment of the sericulture, and people, those who really needs information, they will get through them.
Yeah, actually you are a researcher and specialized in the area of sericulture. Actually, what is the purpose of a particular research project or a research unit in a university, that we should bridge or we should work as a bridge between the community and our research centers or research centers? So in that way, how does your research, and if at all I say like this, that can we become a approaching point for the tribals, for the Dalits, for the marginalized people, those who are living in rural areas, and after seeing these videos, they are interested to develop this farm. Can they approach us and we can help them? In which way we can help them, by which their sericulture farm or agro-based industry they can initiate?
Having project in university is not very significant. So after getting project, any project, disseminating the technology, disseminating the new information, giving the new technique, new methods to the needy people is also equally important. In that case, definitely what best thing we can do, we can also select the farmers of different pockets and we can bring them here, we can train them so that once they get training, they will be aware about the things. Once they get awareness about sericulture activities, then we should also give infrastructural development, technical support, financial support, so that they will definitely come up in their life, and this will become one of the most important livelihood occupation for them.
Yeah, as far as as you said that it will bring livelihood to them, and which way it will bring them economic freedom, or at least it will help them to earn their livelihood. Can you specify in which way it will work? How does it going to empower them economically?
See, first and foremost thing, as far as sericulture is concerned, sericulture the quality of this occupation or this area, people, even those who are having less landholders, what we call it as a small farmers, and they can also take up this occupation, number one. So once they take up this occupation, they can also go for growing of the crops. In sericulture, we can get even 5 to 6 crops per year. See, once they get continuously crop, definitely their financial status will improve. Once their financial status will improve, we can also avoid migration of the youths, migration of the middle-aged people from rural to urban. And ultimately, their economic empowerment will make them to access good education, quality health-related aspects, and ultimately all these things will make their standard of life improve. In that case, sericulture is again very important occupation, make the people self-reliant.
As you have said about NGOs and self-help group, as far as my understanding goes, basically self-help group, what they do, they create members and take contributions, and such contributions can be given again to the members as a loan to start a small kind of things. But actually, as far as my understanding goes, it is not a popular. I mean, how we can popularize this and how we can talk to the self-help group people?
We need to identify the self-help groups, those who are really take up this sericulture as a occupation. And second thing, we should also give training to the farmers, because again and again, why I'm focusing on training. Training is the one which is making aware about new aspects, about new information, about new method, about new crop. In that case, by giving training to them, we can make them aware, and we can also give information where financial assistance can be obtained. See, it is not necessary that every time we have to give financial assistance. See, we need to give information, we need to give technical assistance, and as far as financial assistance is concerned, we have to direct them where financial assistance is available, particularly from state government, from central government, Department of Sericulture. In that case, they can approach the department for financial assistance, and other technical assistance can be given by the university side, and we can also give training to them how to start the sericulture, what are the advantages by starting the sericulture. In that way, we have a larger responsibility.
Yeah, if for example we are living in Lucknow, and where you see the prospectus in nearby areas where we can approach the rural communities, those who have a self-help group, and we can initiate the process that they should adopt sericulture.
See, as far as sericulture is concerned, definitely we need to consider several factors. Number one is the area where all the environmental conditions are congenial to start the sericulture. It is not that wherever we want we can start. Definitely there is a region called Tarai region. If you go towards the Tarai region, is the most suitable regions to start the sericulture. So once you identify the region where sericulture can flourish, the second most important thing is we need to identify the people who can contribute or who are really interested to take up this occupation. So once they convinced, then we can give direction. As I already told you, we can give the direction to the farmers or interested people to get maximum information. It may be technical information, it may be financial assistance, or it may be infrastructural assistance. So by directing right place, right person, we can make them aware, because making awareness is most important. Once they are aware, definitely they will pick up the things very fast. This is how we can identify the rural people, and we can show the path to start the sericulture.
Yeah. What are the challenges one should keep in mind while starting this agro-based industries? So what are the challenges, as you have said about environment, as you have talked about Tarai regions, And apart from all these things, what are the other aspects one must keep in mind while starting this agro-based industries called sericulture?
See, as far as marginalized sections are concerned, definitely there are few challenges. Challenge number one is capital. Challenge number two is land. Land is the most important component. Again, capital also is very important, and most of the time, because of their low education, they are not able to access with the officials, or as well as higher officials, or even sericulture related officers, and most of the time they are excluded, and there are social stigma, and even they are not able to get the technical support. In that case, the most important point is we need to train them. The department should give training as well as support. So once they get training as well as infrastructural support, definitely they can start the sericulture. These are the few challenges faced by particularly people belongs to the marginalized section.
No, as you have said that this sericulture is agro-based industries for small farmers. What ideal land size a small farmer should have by which he can start this sericulture business?
Even those who are small, what we call it as small farmers, those who are having even less than 1 acre, they can also start this sericulture, because here they need very less land. It is not that they should have huge land area. Even having 1 acre or even below 1 acre, one can start the sericulture. So that is the most potentiality of the sericulture. Once they start the sericulture, the most important point which we need to consider here, as far as sericulture is concerned, the investment is less but return is high. Though this is the area where people can invest less and get more profit. In that case, definitely people, those who are having even meager area of land, can also start the sericulture. It is not that they should have a bigger area of lands or big farmers, medium farmers, even for small farmers, those who are having even 1 acre, below 1 acre, can also start this occupation. And most importantly, it is not necessary that they should have land exclusively for sericulture. Even sometimes they can also introduce mulberry as an intercrop with vegetables. Sometimes they can also introduce mulberry as an intercrop with the medicinal plants, or some other crop which is we consider as a cash crop. They can introduce mulberry as an intercrop with the cash crop, and they can get the additional income by rearing the silkworm, because mulberry leaves are the basic food for the silkworms. In that case, definitely people, those who are having even less land, small landholders, can also take up this occupation.
Yeah, you also said about capital. Capital in terms of money. I think you mean to say how much capital is required to start this sericulture agro-based industries?
See, it's again depending upon the nature of the farmer. If they are interested to start up in bigger way, it differs. If they want to start in a smaller way, it differs. As I already told you, one can start this occupation with very meager amount. It's again, for example, one can start, initial cost will be a little more. Initially, because you need to establish the mulberry garden, you need to construct the rearing house, and you need to purchase the rearing articles. Everything is, needs to be calculated according to the area, according to your requirement, and according to the capacity of the farmers. So one can start even with 50,000. That is the minimum amount. One can start with the 50,000. So again, the income is also depending upon your way of acting.
Actually, what is the take on from these discussions? If a farmer is having less than half acre of land and he or she has 50,000 rupees, and he or she can approach the state government or the sericulture related NGOs working in their areas, so they can start their agro-based industries called sericulture, isn't it? And in that particular context, I also asked you and discussed that what are the challenges one should keep in mind while establishing the sericulture farm. Apart from these two, how we can encourage the youth that they should be part of this particular agro-based industries, because as our Prime Minister often says that we should not be a job seeker, rather we should be a job giver. How do you suggest that this sericulture kind of activities, agro-based industries, can be a project to give jobs to our youth, and how they should be motivated to start this agro-based industries?
See, as far as sericulture is concerned, there are several stages. It is not that it has only one stage. For example, mulberry cultivation is one stage, silkworm rearing is another stage, production of cocoon is third stage, reeling is fourth stage, then after that re-reeling, doubling, weaving, these are all the different stages. See, every stage has its own potentiality, and in addition to mainstream, we can also develop a kind of technology where we can earn additional income by exploiting the byproducts of sericulture. See, every stage we have a byproducts. In that case, even from soil to silk, even students or youths particularly, those who are interested to start sericulture as an occupation, even they can go for maintenance of the nursery. Maintaining of the nursery itself, they can earn and they can become an entrepreneur. In addition to that, if they know how to exploit the byproducts of sericulture, maybe the mulberry leaves, mulberry fruits, mulberry twigs, then silkworm pupa, pupal oil, pupal powder, definitely they can establish an additional additional industry along with the sericulture, where they can earn maximum income, not only income, even they can become good entrepreneurs through this sericulture. That is the potentiality this area has.
Now, what you are saying, the stages. Now, the first stage is to establish the sericulture garden.
Yeah, that is what we call it as a mulberry cultivation. So first and foremost thing is, whenever you want to start sericulture, first you need to establish the mulberry garden. Why we need to establish the mulberry garden? Mulberry garden is the prime requirement, because the basic food for silkworm is the mulberry leaves. So unless you establish the mulberry garden, you cannot start this sericulture, what we call it as rearing. In that case, establishment of mulberry garden is most important. Once you establish the mulberry garden, next you need to go for rearing by collecting the leaves and bringing the silkworm eggs in a particular place, what we call it as rearing house. And at the end of the rearing, you will get the cocoons. Those cocoons, then you need to harvest. After harvesting the cocoons, you have to sell out those cocoons in an appropriate market. For that, we need to have market system where rearers are there. And once you marketed, then the job of the rearer is over. Then next connectivity, next linkage will begin. So this is how sericulture goes.
Yeah, I know you said the first is that we should have that sericulture. Where to bring these saplings to have this garden first?
So wherever mulberry gardens are there, you can approach, even if you approach state government, they have a mulberry garden, and this mulberry is periodically being pruned. So after pruning, you will get the cuttings. Those cuttings will be distributed to the farmers. Even somebody wants cuttings, we are also distributing. A couple of years back, we also distributed cuttings to the needy farmers. If anybody wants, they can approach us, at least before monsoon. Definitely, whenever we go for pruning of the garden, mulberry plants, we will keep the cuttings for them and we will distribute. Because this is a very easy way of propagating the mulberry plants. In that case, through cuttings one can do it. Those cuttings are easily available with us.
Yeah. It means to get the saplings or mulberry plants, it would not be very difficult. They can approach us,
Exactly.
the resource center, and they can approach the state government, and there are maybe other.
There are many agencies, even central government, state government, NGOs, Sericulture department, universities, wherever mulberry garden is already established. If needy farmers approach them, definitely they will get the cuttings. That is not an issue. That is not a major constraint.
Okay. How much one should invest to get these saplings for half acre of land?
So maybe they have to invest around 2,000 to 3,000 rupees, not more than that. Even most of the times, department is also giving with free of cost.
Very good, very good. That's a very good point to take on to my audience, that if you are interested to have this sericulture farm, you can get the saplings or mulberry plants by only investing very less amount, 1,000 or 2,000 rupees. At times also you can get in a very cheaper rate, even at free also. So I think that way one can start, and the other steps what has been suggested by my friend, I think that can be followed, which will help us to develop a sericulture agro-based industries. I think with all these takens, I think the viewers should take this as a skill-based kind of telecast for their benefit, and we are always there to help our people, specifically those who are interested in agro-based industries. And my friend Professor Venkatesh Kumar is also very much interested to help the marginalized and the poor, and specifically the farmers, those who are interested to have this sericulture farming. And with all these inputs and takens, I think I will be extending my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to Professor Venkatesh Kumarji for enlightening my viewers, and specifically those who are interested in sericulture kind of things. Thank you very much. Friends, with these notes, I will be ending this particular program, but would be expecting that you must write to us by your comments. You must subscribe this. I think we'll try our level best to bring many such kind of discussions for your benefit. Thank you very much, and namaskar.